Okay, so here we are doing some banded overload isometrics. So we have the bands on our chest machine. What they do is, as my mom presses out, it creates extra tension out on the end. And what I'm having her do is she's actually punching. I'm having you do 5 reps, Mom. So she's actually punching, trying to get the bands further than what she could press if she went nice and slow. So maybe if she presses slow, she can only extend the handle, say 8 inches. But if she punches, she can get them out 8 inches, 10 or whatever. So getting 2 extra inches, or just an extra distance, that helps overload that chest. So go ahead and do one more for me. So she punches out, she holds, trying to flex the chest, then she releases really slowly. Good, then we'll go ahead and do the fly machine one. So the idea of those banded overloads is, and again, we'll do another video here in a second, so give you more time for me to explain this. But is they help just kind of put more weight on that chest than what the chest is used to. Now we're coming over and doing our other fly machine, and she's doing high reps, trying to push blood into the chest. So you can see the chest seam we're going for. So, and we talked about this in one of the other videos, is we're trying to build up her chest muscles. So not only for aesthetics, because it does look good, but also to help participate in our bench press. So right now she's very front shoulder dominant in her bench press, and she uses her triceps, but it's mostly a lot of just front shoulder. So we want to get that chest to help out, and that's going to get her bench to go up. Now, are there chest variations of bench press? Sure, she could do a wider than normal grip. She could do like half reps or like 3/4 reps, stuff like that. But if you do some isolations, where we're coming in with just machines and trying to really target the chest, it kind of helps us bring that area up. And we can get a higher amount of volume than compared to a compound variation like of a bench press variation. So this allows us to get a lot of sets and reps in, and we can get a little extra muscle growth. Then we'll convert that over to those variations of bench press for strength growth. Okay, so we'll come back for some more videos here in a second. Okay, we're back at these presses, and just to talk some more about them. So again, she punches out, she holds the weight in her chest for 3 seconds, then she slowly releases. So this is a form of an overload for her chest, because normally if she pushed at a normal like bodybuilding kind of rate, she wouldn't be able to get as far, so she wouldn't have as much weight from these bands adding to the top of her press. So that's how it's an overload. And then the other benefit we're getting out of this is my mom typically has tight chest muscles. So by making her do an isometric hold and a forced negative, what happens is her body, when it was say 3 units tight, it registered it as not tight at all. So it's always walking around with those 3 units of tightness. When you do an isometric hold in a forced overload eccentric, it forces that muscle to actually release that tension. So all of a sudden from 3 units of tightness, it might drop it to 1 or hopefully 0. And then that's basically a form of therapy. So if she were to repeat this, not so frequently that it actually caused aggravation to the muscles, but an appropriate rate, she could repeat this. We'll go ahead and go to the flies. She could repeat this and actually get a therapeutic benefit out of it. So we're going to be throwing them in about once every 2 weeks, along with some other techniques, and see if we can get that kind of benefit from them. So then again, we're just moving to a lighter form of flies, just to push a bunch of blood in. So we know the banded presses was kind of low repetitions, so this is going to help us get a little higher volume, get more stretch and movement out of those fibers, and it'll also help overload the fibers in a different way. So we know muscle growth can happen from shearing forces, which is heavy weights, and it can also happen from what's called metabolic damage, which is just so much blood and fluid pulled into the muscle and out of the muscle, so many kind of like metabolite breakdown, stuff like that. Basically, you're causing a crap load of stress in that muscle, and so that's what this exercise is going to provide for us. Cool, so we're hoping that both of these things combined leads to bigger, stronger chest muscles for her. Cool. Okay, so here we are for one last annoying video of this. But what I wanted to talk about when we do the isometric hold, it's not just holding the weight. She's going to punch, and she's going to actively try to squeeze even harder, push even harder. So that's during those 3 second, like on this exercise we're doing a 3 second isometric. So she punches. Now keep pushing, Mom. Keep pushing. Push, 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 push. Good, now you release. So you want to stay active during those isometrics. So go again, push. Now push my hand, push, 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 push. Now release, release, release. You got 2 more reps. So that isometric isn't like a passive, keep pushing, push, 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 push. Good. It's actually an active time period. So you're not just holding the weight, you're actively trying to gain ground. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Good, now release. You'll find that you get way more muscle activation and more muscle damage if you're active during your isometrics rather than passive. Go ahead and go to the flies. So when you do this, if you try it, you don't have to have bands to try this exercise, by the way. You can just try it on any chest press machine. If you just do isometric holds at the extension and actively try to push even harder or flex the muscle even harder, it will work. So, and again, when she's doing her flies, if we talk about muscle intention, is when she's squeezing these muscles. So squeeze the chest. She's not thinking of like trying to pinch the handles together. She's not thinking of just shoving like the weight. She's actually thinking of what these muscles are doing. So they're being active. So again, come up and squeeze really hard. Then she wants to lower through those muscles. So right from there, squeeze. Now keep your chest more active when you lower. Keep your chest active, active, active. Stop. Now squeeze the chest. Squeeze. Good. Now active, active. Keep them active, 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 active. Stop. Squeeze. Good. Keep the chest active on the way back. So most people, when they get to the full kind of end of the motion, then they'll flex their chest. Your chest should have already been involved from the start of it. And we want it involved in this extension part as well. So your chest, the working muscle, should be involved on the concentric and the eccentric, not just the final squeeze of any rep. So all these muscle intentions, or kind of like what you're thinking while you're doing the exercise, they all matter a lot because it'll make your exercises more efficient. Cool.